Hello there. This is a really small painting that I decided to record the process here recently. I'm starting here with a painting that has already got about a layer on it, and I am working definitely intuitive, as I most usually do. I tend to be a little bit intimidated when I know the camera's on, but I feel like I actually was able to work through this one pretty close to the way I usually work. So I hope you enjoy it. And as I said, I'm starting with a painting that I had already previously had a layer on there, and I am just starting on it as if it's going to be a new painting. I have no idea what I don't have any plans as to what I want this to look like. In fact, I really thought it was going to be totally different than this, so I'm basically doing a paint over on here. In the end, if you stay tuned to the very last pic, you'll see the painting, the finished version of this. And I do pretty much stick with this composition. But you can see as I move along how I process my art as I'm working through it. And again, I'm working totally intuitively, so one idea is just leading into the next. You can't really see my paint mixing. It's off on the side there, but it's pretty much a limited palette. I think here in a little bit I will actually show you the palette. I'll hold it in front of the camera and you can see. I think it was a cobalt blue, a cadmium yellow, I can't pronounce it, dioxin purple, something like that. Oh, there's my dog barking. Yay about that. And this is pretty much it. It's just one idea leading into the next, and which leads to the next, and I have no idea where I'm going with this. And I just keep going until I feel as if it's completed, or it just doesn't have anything else that speaks to me. How do I know I'm done? It's usually like when I'm working intuitively, I will, as I'm mixing a paint and I'm putting it on there and I look at it, my eye will go to another area and it'll say, oh, this area needs something. And so I'll work on that area. And I'll get that area completed and I'll look at the painting and my eye will go to another area and I will say, this area needs something, I don't know what, but it needs something, so I'll work on that area. And I just continue on through that process until I get to the point where I look at it and it goes, and I go, I can't find anything else. At that point, it's usually a matter of putting it up, maybe for a few hours and then coming back, or it could be the next day. I will come back to it after having been gone for quite a while and look at it. And then if my eye goes to an area and goes, that's pretty weak right there, then I know that I need to continue to work with that area. I usually don't know what I'm going to do with that area. I just start in, and sometimes I just make a really a mess with it until something emerges out of it that is interesting to me, and then I kind of go with that flow. So here I'm just adding on to the layers previous layers that were already on there. Some of them I'm keeping, some of them I've covered up. I've already started working with my white, as you can see, so that helps to pop those colors, and it kind of helps me to see where my composition is at. And I see I'm starting here with a fairly big brush for a small painting. I think I switch off to a smaller brush after a while here. So I've been working on wood. This is wood. I have about 4 or 5 paintings I've recently done on wood. I usually work on canvases, large canvases, or paper, small paper. If I work on small paintings, they'll be paper. These are the first small paintings I've done in almost a year. So, and I've really been enjoying working with the wood. You'll see me scratching through the paint, and that is something that I just really love doing. You can see, I think I hold this up to the camera after a while, but you'll be able to see the previous layer underneath there when I scratch through. And you can scratch through with anything you've got that's a sharp tool. What I'm using is some sort of a cap that you can use to screw onto like golden fluid acrylics, and then you can draw with the paint, make with the paint. And it never did work for me. They get plugged up for some reason. So, but it's came in handy for this. I've really been enjoying it. So you'll see me taking that and using it from time to time to draw lines basically into the paint. And especially when it's wet, I really love doing that. So I got a lot of handy wipes that are close by, so that's what this is. So it's a pretty moist rag, and there I go scratching into the paint. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing with there. I also have noticed that I do a lot of mark making as I'm painting as well. So you'll see me, there I go. You'll see me, that's a graphite pencil. You'll see me going ahead and marking in to the paint. Some of that paint is already dry that I'm marking into. Some of it is wet. And there's that. There's a Stabilo all pencil, which is basically a really black pencil that I absolutely love to use. And I think you will see me using it here in just a little bit. But so I'm trying to do this, and you might hear my dog again here. It's really hard to work with her. She is a year old now. And there she goes. She's getting so much better about in the studio, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this or not. We'll see. So I'm painting in, I think I may end up going over that again here, making it lighter over there on the top left. But yeah, I'm about halfway through right now with this. And oh good, she has settled down on the couch there for a second. So accidents happen all the time. I'll see if I can point one out here in a little bit. There's some things that happen and I'm like, no, I didn't mean to do that, but I leave them and I go on to the next thing. And so many times I find that those little accidents work right into the painting, and I couldn't have made it any better if I had tried. So I don't worry about accidents or I wish I wouldn't have done that. Oh no. I just like keep going and paint over it later on, or it works into the painting somehow. So it's just really trying to just enjoy the process. These paintings I've been doing on wood lately have just really been, after a tough year, it's just really been a way to get back in and just really enjoy painting and not be so worried about if it's going to be liked, is it going to sell, and all those kinds of things like that. Just be yourself, enjoy the process, go with the flow, and let it be your own voice that speaks. And mine tends to be very colorful. If you've seen my paintings, and if you haven't, you can go to my website, which is elizabethchapmanartwork.com, and you could see my whole body of work there. Minus, I have some work at a gallery right now in Ohio, and so those have been taken off my website. And but anyway, you can get an idea of what my abstract paintings are like by going to my website. The other place you can go is to my Instagram feed, which is Elizabeth Chapman 77. And you can just go through all those and you can see my paintings are very colorful. They're very, I feel as if they're very emotional, expressive, and fun. So let's see what I'm doing here now. Okay, this was a fun part here. I'm scratching into the paint on this left side, and it created a really nice texture, which was those long lines were a really nice contrast as well to the other painting. And there I go with that Stabilo all black pencil, which is a water soluble pencil, and I just love it. And it's definitely water soluble. So before I would go to varnish this, I will spray this painting with a fixative to keep it in place before I varnish. Otherwise, it will just smear all over the place if I just paint or wipe varnish over the surface before I have fixed it. So now here's a really skinny thin brush I've switched off to, and I've kind of watered down the paint so I can do some scribbling, writing with that. And so I'm working with that for a little bit here, and it tends to add some like gesturally, what do I want to say? Kind of. That's my favorite color. I have to show you that. Phthalo. There are so many combinations of blue that can be made with phthalo. My favorite is what I call a seafoam green. I think I'm going to come up using it here in a little bit on that brush I was just talking about. But am I using it next here? Let me see. It's up in that top right-hand corner next to the phthalo blue. You can see it contrasting, and I think I may be coming up with it right now here, but okay, there I am mixing it. That's it right there. I call it seafoam green, and that's my very favorite color. And there you can see my palette. It's basically, there was just 3 colors paints on here that I was using, and white and black, and mixing up all these colors. But I call this one seafoam green, and it is one of my favorite colors. And so I'm using it right now. If you have any questions or any comments, I'd love to hear from you at the comment section. I don't have a whole lot of videos up. There I go with that seafoam green and just kind of making that top corner, just it needed something. It needed to pop. I'm at that point now where I'm creating contrast through kind of like the rawness contrasted against more detailing work. As I'm getting towards the end here, I tend to start working more with fine lines and details and those kinds of things like that, which really surprisingly can really pull a painting together. It's amazing how just the smallest little things or area that you might work in can just really almost complete a painting at some point. So that was a little, I don't really like that happened right there, but I just let it go and went on. I think I move on to somewhere else now with this. So yeah, I tend to not paint the sides because I have on a few of these that I started working on the woods, these small ones here recently. But what happens is I forget as I start the painting, I get so focused on what I'm doing that I totally forget that I needed to be working on the sides, and it's just so hard to go back and try and it's not as interesting anyway. So this one will be painted solid white on the sides, and you can see as I've added that white on top of those lighter layers, you can still see through, which I like that. I don't like a solid white. Because there's some depth to it, and there's some interesting textures there and so forth like that. But you can see how it's making this painting really pop now, really stand out as far as composition wise. And so it's almost to the end here. I think that last little lines on the top were just about it. So I think I'm going to be showing you a close-up. Nope, I'm not. There's the completed painting, and it's called Sail Away.